It's time for the new sketchbook flip through. I finished this one in September and I actually have another one after this, but for now we're gonna get into this one. Here we go. So here's the front of the book. This is the January 2025 to September 2025. I'll quickly run through the stickers. So I've got Kari J, I've got Ultra Infinite, I've got ChubbeeBug, I've got Coffeecoffinsart, I've got Artful Endeavors, that's just Poe. He's a cute little carrier pigeon. Annalillyarts, which is my wife, and then Wes, who's my son. Yeah. And then here I've got Jsayuri, Jackalope Jane Varieties, Mangomilkstudio, another one from Artful Endeavors, my wife. This is HeyHypnosart, and then these ones came from Sticky Club because I used to do that, but I don't really do that anymore because it gets quite expensive. But they are pretty stickers. So here I've got my sketchbook goals. I think I did fairly okay with this. It's a whole lot more sketchy and more idea-wise, but I kind of feel like that's what a sketchbook is for. The first thing I did was a draw your outfit in 5 minutes challenge. And then my wife and I were trying to figure out how to draw like the inside of a doll's head for one of her comic ideas. So I was just kind of trying to help her figure out how that might look, which is pretty fun. This is my character, Pixie Rubbish. She's this little punk possum. I've got her in a couple different little comics now. And then of course her girlfriend, Fairy Wren. And then my wife drew this for me. And then this was a meeting I went to and I doodled throughout it, and I like put some little notes in here because I was quite uncomfortable, but it was good to teach me that I don't really want to do what this council had to offer, which is, you know, good to set boundaries with yourself. Here I was doing little blobs and then I turned them into things. I usually try to do this when I don't want to put a whole lot of thought into something, or as like a de-stress technique. And of course more of Pixie and Fairy. This is a Neurographica that I have journaled in. There's quite a bit of journaling in this. And then a tabby cat. This was late at night and I was kind of trying to unwind, but these motorcycles kept driving around, so I just watched Kif instead. I started therapy for the first time ever this year. They graduated me after 3 months because I had a good week and I seemed to have quite a bit of a handle on it. I'm not sure I agree with it, but at the same time, I've been doing a lot better. I feel like I can deconstruct my issues better. I don't know. I'll probably get back into it eventually. I just have to find the right therapist. Here I was just playing around, and then these are candy wrappers that I drew on top of, so it's kind of shiny. And more Neurographica, and this wiggly armed person. I watched Nosferatu for the first time, and I really liked that. It's a fun take on that sort of, or that specific vampire story, I should say. Here I was just talking about wanting to get back into fashion, and I kind of do and I kind of don't. I think that's okay. I'm just letting myself figure out how many spoons I have each day. Here I had a little snack time. For our 6-month anniversary, we went and got these little plushies made. This is more journaling. A lot of stuff happened the early part of this year. Well, I guess this whole year has been full of but that's okay. I ordered some stuff from Bree's Tiny Print Shop, which I really like her, and then she gave out this tiny zine with it. And then This was for my bestie's book, A Campaign for Desire. I was trying to help them come up with a cover. And just more journaling. This is done behind a broken screen protector. I think it's a fun way to upcycle them after they break, is to like put stuff behind them. This, I was trying to come up with a little bit of world building, a little alien race of androgynous little guys, and they kind of like communicate through sounds that are more in a visual form. I don't know if that makes any sense. This was a little creepy Roomba robot thing I made up. The story was like it was teaching kids how to do things, and like they were trying to replace the parents, and just creepypasta-y, futuristic. This here is ducting tape, so it's made out of a metal, and if you press into it with a pen or a toothpick, you can draw into it. I think it's used mostly to like connect your dryer hose and that sort of thing, anything that kind of heats up. But I like to play with it. This I did like a texture board so you can actually feel all the little things. This was a comic I submitted, well, the sketch for a comic I submitted to Spokane Sequential. And these are ideas for some really big paintings that I'm kind of slugging through. I haven't really done too much with them, but I am excited for them when I get the time and energy to actually do them the way I want to. This, I was doing some parts work in therapy. The same sort of thing here. We only did a couple days of parts work, but it did kind of help me understand internal workings a little more. This was I just wasn't feeling very good this day. So it says, feeling like a wisp of smoke after a candle has gone out, just barely visible and on the whim of the most microscopic air current. Maybe I'll feel like a solid being later. And this here, I did a Neurographica that is kind of about the burden of clutter and how it feels to just have all these things around. But at the same time, it's hard for me to get rid of things because I've got sentimental value, unfortunately, in a lot of items. And I'm working on that because I need space to do stuff. Here I had fun playing around with stippling and hatching and all the little scales. I was just using this page to test pens and get the ink flowing again. This is a fun collaborative one because I was with my bestie at their brother's house, and so the three of us were just doodling in the margins. My husband and I had our 20th year anniversary this year, and we went to Ireland, which was really cool. Scary, mostly because the roads are tiny, but we had a lot of fun still. We ended up in this town that had the Choctaw Monument, and I didn't know that we were in that town until we saw the sign for it. And it was a really cool moment because I've got a great-grandma and then great-great-grandma that are Choctaw, and it just kind of felt nice to see something that represents the Irish and the Choctaw coming together. And this is the Cliffs of Moher. And then we stayed at a castle, and there was this cool dungeon bar, so I was kind of sketching that while we waited for our food to come out. And on this page I made like a fake little corkboard and then actually put little sticky notes on it. I did Zine Fest this year, which I love Zine Fest. It's one of my favorite things. Zines in general are just, they're so much fun to make and collect and trade. And this is my wife and I being gay. This is a butterfly that seems to like to chase my wife around, so I had to do a Born to Menace sticker for her. This was a milk pen, I think, from Pentel, and so I was just playing around with that. And this is Abby and Luna. More of me and my wife being gay. I did the Draw Bad Comic Day this year, and so I did Pixie Rubbish, and she gets hungry, and then she doesn't have anything except for a really old piece of pizza, and it doesn't end well for her. But she's fine, because she's a possum. There's my wife at work in her yard. This is a comic idea that I'm still working on. I'm pretty excited to have different little comics in the works. I don't know if you can really see that because it's all in pink pencil, but you can't see it anyways because it's not done. This here was a character for a D&D campaign that we only got one session into, and then it all kind of blew up, but that's okay. That seems to happen a lot with D&D. It's like the curse of D&D, to be honest. This here is a comic I did for Spokane Sequential again. I really enjoy putting in a little comic with them. This is more about that character. My wife and our son decided to make some ink out of Oregon grape berries, and then she drew in my sketchbook with it, and it was kind of fun because we found out that it does a different tone on different papers, and we're not sure if it's the acidity level of each paper, but some came out more blue and some came out more pink, and I was excited my sketchbook was more purple because it's like my favorite shade of purple. These two I just did with pen straight on the paper, and I think they would be really cute poster cards. My son likes to give me little cards, so I made a page with a hand that can hold the cards. It was really cute. He adopted me this year. Me and my husband. Because he's my wife's son. My wife and I went to Portland for our 1-year anniversary, and I proposed to her on the train, and of course she said yes. And we were at a cafe together, and I was drawing some of the plants, and then I did a little poem about learning guitar, because she's been teaching me this year, and I'm at the point where I can pretty much play a song, and it feels pretty good. Some little fairies. My wife. This is another comic I'm working on, which it will be my longest comic when it's done so far. I'm still new to making comics. I think I've been at it for maybe a year now, but I'm getting more confident with it, which feels nice. And it's fun coming up with little stories and figuring out how to translate that into a more visual format. Here's another one of those with the broken phone cover, and then we had a bit of a energy drink problem for a while. We're good now. We're actually completely off energy drinks, but we thought it was funny to have a Red Bull behind the brick in case of emergency. This here I journaled on, and then I covered it up with a dying Sharpie and then drew on top of it. And I do this quite often when I have thoughts that I just need to get out but I don't agree with, if that makes sense. And it's a way to transform the feelings into something new. Here I took a page out of a magazine, and then I was just doodling on top of it with acrylic markers, and then I was having fun with some collage. I don't usually collage too much, but it's fun when I try it. This is that little art challenge you do where you look at the person's face and then draw them without looking at the page. So my wife and my husband, and then some old friends. And this is I'm not sure, silly goose creature. More with that milk pen and some fruits. A big monster page. These are the, I think it's got, or the granulated ones. I can't quite remember the name of them right now, but I have had fun playing with those. A little mermaid and another magazine clipping. And some little people on watercolor blobs. This is from Maniac, and I cracked up so hard after drawing it because I didn't go in with pencil first, and I accidentally made her hand really tiny, and I just think that's funny. It just looks really silly that she's got a doll hand. This is just like a little outfit on Pinterest, and then I made a cat girl, and then some bubble-eyed fish. This is a Band-Aid wrapper, and then I put a little mouth inside of it. And then these are a bunch of receipts, and I was having fun doing like found poetry with them. I really liked doing this page. It was very meditative to kind of blob the watercolor on and then afterwards go in and do like Zentangle-y style things. And then this is the last page of the book, so I just kind of messed around with the Taco Bell sticker thing. And then Corpseclown again, Emmaclairebindery, Yoshu Prince, and my wife. And that's it. And then I get my wife, son, Void.bug, Artful Endeavors, and me. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Play a little if you want to in your sketchbook.